Hello, this is Sandy with Sandy's Crafty Creations. I want to welcome each of you to my day one of my 13 Frights before Halloween. I'll be working on this cute little haunted house kit that I ordered from Country Craft Creations. The kit is chipboard and it was cut by Heart of Texas Studios. I'll also be using a really cute paper collection by Photo Play called Halloween with Matilda and Godfrey. Now I did use two collections, but if you only have one, I think that you can work with that. We're going to have a lot of fun for the next 13 days. We're going to be working on this project, and there may be a bonus project at the end if we have time. Also, for the first time, I'm being sponsored by Country Craft Creations for this event, and I will have a prize giveaway. A gift from me and something from Country Craft Creations. And all you have to do is leave a comment to be entered. You leave a comment on either YouTube or on my blog, and you can comment on both each day to be entered into the drawing, and we'll announce the winner on the last day, or actually on Halloween day. So let's get started. I've already taken the haunted house kit out of the package, and I see here that we have some tabs that are pre-scored for us, that makes it really easy to put together, I think. So I have, I see two on the top, and there is one on the side. So I'm just folding these to see how it goes together. So the house is all one piece, and all the windows are already cut out. And this is the roof piece, and it's also scored in the middle. And then we have several different little window shutters. And we have a pumpkin set, some other little accessories like a ghost and witch, and a lot of wood pieces for the windows. And we have a light post with a sign, and also pieces pre-cut for the porch, the step and the porch. And then we also have a crooked chimney. So I'm going to set these aside for now, and I'm going to pull out my papers. And some of this I've done ahead, but I will show you how I did it. So first you'll see here that I have the paper that I've chosen. I've just selected the bats for the outside of the house for the walls. And I have a 1-inch punch and my scissors and a black Sharpie and a craft knife. So on this first piece I have one already cut, but I'm going to go ahead and show you on the second one. So I line it up with my paper, and I'm doing something that I don't normally do. I'm going to mark this on the front side so that I can see where the placement is. I'm okay with the black marker being on the front side of the paper because I'm going to want to add some of that anyway. So I'm just going to draw the roof line here. And then I'm going to mark where the circle window is, and then draw the rectangles for each window. Okay, so then move your house out of the way. Think I'll go ahead and mark the bottom of it, make sure I don't make a mistake. And I'm going to just use scissors. That's what I did on the first one that I already pre-cut. So I'm just using scissors to cut this out, the little roof line. And the side. I did mark that, so I think maybe I can do a straighter job if I'll use my trimmer. So I'm going to go over here to the table and use my trimmer real quick. I have a counter behind where I keep my trimmer and bigger tools. Okay, so I've cut that side out, and that looks like it's going to be good. Might trim it down I think I trim it down just a little bit because I kind of want it to not overextend where it's supposed to go. So just make sure it fits good. Okay, I think that'll work. And I'm using a 1-inch circle punch to punch the circle window. It's the perfect size. This is much easier than trying to cut it with a craft knife because I would not be able to do that. Um, Not a perfect circle. So if you have a 1-inch circle punch, that fits perfectly for that round window. So now I'm getting my cutting mat so that I can use the craft knife. Now I don't use a regular craft knife. I use a box cutter knife that I purchased at Home Depot. The size of it and the size of the blade makes it easier for me to actually cut out straight areas like these windows. So I'm just going to cut them all out with the craft knife on my mat. Just always make sure you use a cutting mat because you don't want to cut your table. Now in this video section where I'm cutting out the windows, I'm going to go ahead and speed it up just a little bit to save some time on this video. Now I want the inside edges of the windows inked black, and I like to use the brush tip of a Copic marker that's in the darker or the darkest gray color that's almost black. It just makes it so much easier to go around the edges on the inside of cut out pieces like this. So this works really well to take away the white part of the paper that shows from where you cut. So I'm going to go ahead and ink all the openings of my windows. And I've already done that on the other piece that I cut off camera. And then next we're going to go ahead and cut the other two sections of the house. Now for these other two sections, these are just more rectangle shapes. So these are going to be easier to cut out of with our trimmer. So I'm measuring to make sure what size piece I need of paper. I need 2. So I measured them and it comes out to be about 5.5 wide by 6 5/8 tall. So I'm going to write that down on my little house here so I remember it and cut these correctly. And I'm going to take this paper over to my trimmer and I'm going to cut out these pieces. I'm going to cut out 2 and then I'll be right back. Okay, I've cut out the paper for the remaining 2 sides of the house, and you need to make sure and fold the sections of the house so that you can see the fold lines clearly. So that's what I've done, is folded these 2, and now I'm making sure that my piece fits right there where I'm going to mark for the windows. So I'm going to take some Scotch tape and just attach that at the top to make sure that it stays in place while I mark that. So I'm going to attach both pieces down the same way, and you'll notice that it starts below that tab. That's just where we're going to glue the roof on, so we don't need any pattern paper on that section. So I'm going to tape this down, and then I'm going to flip it over and mark the windows that I'm going to cut. Now these are going to be a little bit more tricky to cut out with the craft knife, but it's, if you have the bigger craft knife like I do, it's a little bit easier, but you may be more talented at cutting with craft knives than I am. I've just always had a tendency to not be able to control them, but with this bigger knife I have more luck. So I am going to go ahead and cut these out with the craft knife. If you have problems, again, you could cut a little X in the center and then get your scissors in there and use your scissors, small pair of scissors, to cut these windows out of the paper. I had a real hard time deciding what papers from the collection that I wanted to use, and as I said earlier, uh, I didn't use two different collections. I used the same collection, the Matilda and Godfrey, but I used two packs. Now, I don't think you actually need all that, except maybe for this outer part of the house. I can't remember for sure. But anyway, I bought two just to make sure I was on the safe side to have plenty of paper that I wanted to use. And then I'm going to have a lot left over for a mini album and cards and things like that. So go ahead and take this tape off now. I don't want to leave it on too long because I don't want it to tear. And I've got my windows and door marked, and I'm going to take that craft knife again, and I'm going to cut these out. So I'm going to speed up this part of the video because I don't want to take up too much time. I'm going to try to keep them down to like under 15 each day, and hopefully that gives us plenty of time to get this done. And this is pretty self-explanatory, so I'm going to go ahead and cut these and speed it up where we're saving some time on the video. Thank you for watching day one of my 13 Frights before Halloween. I'll be back tomorrow with day two. Bye bye.